with all the success you've had?
Well, I used to watch it growing up, and I would delusionally tell my friends, I'm going to do this, and it's just crazy to see where your perseverance can take you. It's all mind over matter.
Nice. Well, what did your friends say when you told them that you were going to be on it? Were they cool, or were they like, nah?
Some were like, nah. Some were cool. It's
Awesome.
just crazy to see it now.
Yeah, cool. A question from the gang at all? Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm from Infuse Magazine. I know that you wear a lot of streetwear. A lot of Canadian designers. Dion is one of them. What would you describe your style as, or where do you pull aspirations from?
It's a sort of postmodern sort of street glam. That's what I would say. Yeah, I like to switch things up.
Postmodern street glam, I love it. I want to ask you, you were signed to a major label when you were 16. So do you have, younger people, like teenagers coming up and asking you, A, how you did it, and B, for advice? Because a lot of people, especially young people, really look up to you with all the success you've had at a young age. Do you get people asking for advice or tips?
Well, sometimes, and I just, no one person's path is the same, But I just tell you, really, for me, it's maintaining physical health and your mental health when you're on the road and when you're doing a lot of fast-paced stuff. Because really, even more important than the music is how well you keep yourself in shape. And that's what I've found with mine,
I travel a lot for my gig, and I'm very out of shape. So can you give me a tip? Do you have any tips for me?
Just a smoothie machine.
A smoothie?
Smoothie blender, man. That keeps me alive.
Bring a smoothie blender on the road. Wise words. Any more questions? Yes, hello.
As you've become more popular over the last couple of years, do you find it difficult to leave your home? Do you want to sort of stay inside because you'll get a barrage of fans coming after you?
I really just go anywhere. It's not really like that for me. I think I'd more isolate myself just because now I have my studio set up in my house. So when the music's there, I hardly ever leave. But yeah.
You've been involved in We Day, and so I want to ask you kind of what that means to you. And for you now, using your profile and your platform, why is it important to kind of do some good and inspire other people to do good?
Because as a musician, you have influence. And you have to use that influence for, I think at least, for something good and to point people in the right direction. And I think doing those things is a step in the right direction.
Cool.
For sure.
And just lastly, you said you have a home studio. Is it tough to find the discipline when you're like at home to go and write songs and stuff?
No, in between watching, my like Eyes Wide Shut, like a movie or something, get some inspiration. It's all there.
Wow.
The system's all there for you.
Always Kubrick you watch to get inspired?
That's my guy.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks a lot for doing this and being part of it, man. Really appreciate it. Francisco Yates. Right?
We did, yeah. I was in the culinary program actually and working at the college.
Cool.
And then Elijah was in the music program, and our guitarist now, Matthew, he recorded me without me knowing, but I guess I'm thankful for him now. And he showed it to Elijah, and Elijah, I guess.
Yeah, she's alright.
I was okay,
She's
I guess.
passable, yeah, very passable. No, so we kind of clicked that and kept recording music, and then it just ended up here.
Cool. Questions? Let's go to you. Let's go to the front first.
Thank you for not making us pick.
I was like,
That
oh,
would have
this
been
is
so
not gonna go
hard.
well, yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
Hi, how are you? I'm Juliana from YSP Now, and our question is about your smash hit Ain't Easy. That was co-written by Ryan Tedder and Camila Cabello, and we saw on launch that the original lyrics were quite different than what the song ended up to be. It was like Loving Me Ain't Easy and more songs like that. Can you talk about why you wanted to rewrite it and how you made it your own?
Yeah, I think the part about that process that was the most fun for us was being able to walk into a room and throw, as Elijah saying, a bunch of ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. And we do that whether it's a Ryan Tedder, a mogul like Ryan Tedder, or whether it's just the two of us in the studio. But he was the first person to kind of say on our episode that it was about 20% too pop for us. And we wanted to get a little bit grittier, and I didn't want to talk about me being hard to love. I wanted to talk about somebody else being hard to love. I don't actually know how that changed. I don't know. It changed. I don't think I remember.
Yeah, I literally think we were just in the studio like singing it, and then that just happened. It's interesting because I think it's actually out of context. I think if you listen to it, it doesn't make sense.
Honestly, we didn't just say that.
It's done pretty well.
Don't tell Scott Marchetta.
Yes. Hey.
Is the next phase of your career to record a CD, a full-length CD, on Scott Borchetta's label? And are you ready for what's next?
Yeah, so we have so much music ready to go. We now have the amazing team behind us with Big Machine Records. So yeah, the plan is definitely to release an album in the near future. The music's all there, so it's just about refining it and finding the next steps.
We're super patient, and we want to do it right, and that's starting in Canada and growing outside of that. So Ain't Easy's just about to drop in the States and hopefully internationally, and we just want to take it one step at a time. We don't want to rush things. We really want to do this right.
Cool. And yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm from Infused Magazine. I'd like to know what your biggest message you want your fans to take away from your music. What do you want them to feel? What do you want them to see or hear when they hear it?
I think it's literally just that, is we want them to feel something. I think modern music sometimes gets, the emotion gets stripped away from it and it becomes more of a business, and what we're trying to do is quite the opposite. We want to make something that connects to people, whether it's you want to go and dance, whether it's you want to go, I don't know, to your friend's house and just like hang out, whatever it is, or listen to it in the car. We want something that connects with people. So ultimately, like, that's the goal, and it's been amazing, the response to the music we put out too, because so many people are connecting to it on such a unique level, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, whatever it is. We're trying to bridge that gap.
Amazing, thank you.
And lastly, you guys had a busy year. You've got I'm sure, crazy busy couple of years ahead. But would you ever like go back to the culinary arts world and open a restaurant?
Do you want me to cook for you, huh?
I'd like that.
Yeah, I love. I'm so passionate about cooking.
Yeah.
I loved it. I opened a couple businesses after culinary school. You can't keep up with both of them.
Yeah.
I don't even cook for Elijah. Sucks to
No,
say.
it's a miss.
No, I'll cook for you, but nobody else. Don't tell
Awesome.
anybody.
Yes, thanks. Well, baby, look at your seats.
Seared salmon.
There's no plate too. It's just on the floor.
It's just taped under the seat. Thank you so much for being a part of this and for the music,
One more.
and congrats on a great
Isn't that
year.
pretty?
Oh, one more? Yeah. For other people, obviously, too. What specifically has that song meant to your career thus far?
I think it's like another incredible stepping stone, and I think with a record like that, because I'm from New York City and I'd never imagined to have a pop country collaboration and for it to be so successful. And the funny thing is when my manager called me at the time and he was like, hey, Florida Georgia Line's at the studio down the street from you, do you want to go in? And I was like, who? And I ended up going in and we wrote the song in like 4 hours. And I think what it's taught me is that I have no boundaries and I can just do whatever I like in music. As long as I think that way.
Yeah.
A lot of times we like to put ourselves in boxes, but I feel like all my favorite artists of all time have been able to jump from genre to genre, and that's what I look up to.
And so Florida Georgia Line were like down the street, like in your city, recording?
Literally like 3 minutes away.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a 3-minute car ride. I was like, okay, I'll go, because it's so close.
It's 3 minutes.
I think my manager at the time was like, come on, they have amazing turkey burgers in the studio. Like they order them. I was like, okay, I'll go for the turkey burger. That's what I was.
And then you got this song out of it. Let's start with you, Ellie. Yeah. We'll go to Rudy after. Thank you.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
Ellie from Celeb Mix. Your debut album, Expectations, just came out. How would you describe it to anyone who hasn't listened to it yet?
Definitely inspired by all the things that I have been through as a collaborator, as a songwriter, as well as my inspirations from when I was younger. So I was very inspired by No Doubt in early 90s guitar sounds. And then I ended up working with Eminem and G-Eazy and was very inspired by rhythmic and hip-hop beats, and then fell into the dance world and started writing dance songs with David Guetta and Martin Garrix, and then fell into the pop country world. So I took a little bit of everything that has inspired me. I put in pop rock guitars, like No Doubt vibes. I write country style lyrics, which mean they're very honest, very simple, and they tell stories. And then I also incorporate electronic sounds like dance, and then also rhythmic stuff. So I kind of just
create a male world.
There was definitely things happening every once in a while, for sure.
Were you shooting? What were you shooting?
Yeah, I was shooting a movie. here, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A dance movie called Make Your Move.
Make your move.
That's right. Buy it in those DVD stores and
I love it. Yes, here in the front, and then we'll go to you. Cool. Thank you.
Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Were you and your sister as youngsters?
Put your hand down. She's like, I got it. I'm stuck. I got it.
Were you and your sister Julianne as youngsters competitive when it came to dancing?
Were we competitive with
Yeah.
each other?
Yes.
So we actually did compete against each other, but here's the fun story is that she's younger than me, and I wasn't competitive with her, because I was like, ah, my baby sister, what's up? But she was competitive as hell with me, for sure. She, yeah, and so there was a couple times when she would beat me. Actually on Dance with the Stars, she beat me a couple times, you know, she won, and man, I heard about it. She's like, I beat you, Roller Bro, yeah, eat it. So, but no, we're very supportive of each other. It's all good. Yeah, go ahead. Cool. Dude, like how I was, go ahead. Didn't point it.
That's good.
Go ahead.
Hi Derek, Ellie from Celeb Mix here. And I just wanted to know if in school, were you ever bullied for being a male dancer, and do you have any advice for male dancers who are being bullied right now?
To answer that question, 100%. I was bullied pretty badly actually as a kid. I went to like 6 different schools within like 2 months, constantly being beaten up. But actually a lot of the times it was my neighbors. You know, they'd tie me up on my ankles and hang me in a tree for a couple of hours, and you know, some crazy stuff happened. But we won't go into that. It's a nice, happy night, right? But my advice, actually, the good thing is, quite honestly, is that I feel like the culture has changed. The perception of dance has changed a lot since I was a kid, at least in this past decade, this past, 10 years. Dancing, especially for guys, is cool. You know what I mean? It's celebrated. It's like, yo, he's a dancer, not like, oh, he's a dancer.
Yeah.
So luckily I feel like it's more appreciated, it's more celebrated, it's more at the forefront, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to have been a part of that in some way throughout this decade. So yeah, my boys out there, my brothers, keep dancing, man, keep dancing.
Well said. We'll go to
You know what? It's Evan's birthday today. He's 30.
Virgo's rule. You guys get to celebrate my birthday with me. Come on now.
Virgo's birthday.
It's about to turn up in here. What's happening?
Every birthday, is there always this sort of crowd and stuff for you?
No.
Good to be you.
No, not usually.
So
it's nice to be in Toronto. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome. And your first MMVAs, you've been once before, though, is that right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome back. We just have time for a couple questions, but I wanted to ask you right out of the gate, Ashley and Evan, the show, it's starting in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, September 9th.
What can you tell us about it? There's been a few promos online, but what else can you tell us about it?
We got a single dropping
Wait.
We got a single dropping September 7th, right before the show airs.
Cool.
And each episode there's a new song that's going to be released. So yeah, no, it's
Well, it feels good, us deciding to do this show was a moment where I feel like we were documenting our lives as we were recording, but then we were like, how are we gonna get this to for people to understand? Like, I've taken a really long break, and for people to understand, and hopefully we can bring a little positivity and light to this world.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good opportunity for us to actually be able to kind of show who we are, but also the way the world is right now, what people listen to, what's important. It's like sometimes what's really important is the love that you get to share amongst yourselves in your home. People don't get to see. And we didn't do it in the way that people have seen before. It really felt like more of a documentary than anything else. And it's very authentic. It's authentic to who we are. It's about who we are. And the truth of it all was it's not bad to be in love. It's not bad to love. And so we were trying to share that. And it's not drama. It's not crazy.
We have our moments, but
that happens.
We all do. Yeah. Fun recording together?
It was so fun to work together. That part was really cool for us to
that was happening.
switch off and writing.
Produce this project. And it was actually better than what was happening before, because a lot of times when we're in our industry, we have to separate to work on things. I have to go shoot Star in Atlanta for 6 months, and she's home with the kids. And it's like if we could actually be together and create together, that's the best thing of all time. So we actually had the best time ever. I got to be with my kids every day. I got to be with my wife every day. It was a beautiful experience.
And it was a choice. It was a choice we made together, and a choice that we stand behind.
Yeah. Thank you. Cool.
And last question, let's go to you with the orange top. Yeah, haven't heard from you yet. Thank you. Hey.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I don't have a question, but I want to say happy birthday because Virgos rule.
Oh, yeah!
My birthday is August 31st. I turned 31 on the
Happy
31st. So I want to say happy birthday and thank you guys for coming to Toronto.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're happy to be
We had a
here.
good time.
Good.
We're excited to share music with you.
Yeah, watch the show, see what you think.
Question next door.
Yes. So I actually watched the Ashley Simpson show.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that. What's the difference between doing a reality show back then to now? Like, is it a huge
It's
transition?
definitely a different time.
Okay.
Shooting a show back then and now, it's definitely a different time. But you know, I mean, I'm still the same me, you'll see as you watch the show. I'm pretty goofy and awkward and whatever, and you'll see all that. But I love Deep and whatever. You know, actually still have the same best friends with me on the show. But it was different. I mean, you know, I think the boundaries and the choices are all different, and we were in control. So that's different.
Can't wait to see it September 9th.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back.
Thank you
Evan,
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, thanks so much for doing this. We appreciate it.
Things happening every once in a while, for sure.
Were you shooting? What were you shooting?
Yeah, I was shooting a movie. here, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A dance movie called Make Your Move.
Make your move.
That's right. Buy it in those DVD stores and
I love it. Yes, here in the front, and then we'll go to you. Cool. Thank you.
Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Were you and your sister as youngsters?
Put your hand down. She's like, I got it. I'm stuck. I got it.
Were you and your sister Julianne as youngsters competitive when it came to dancing?
Were we competitive with
Yeah.
each other?
Yes.
So we actually did compete against each other, but here's the fun story is that she's younger than me, and I wasn't competitive with her, because I was like, ah, my baby sister, what's up? But she was competitive as hell with me, for sure. She, yeah, and so there was a couple times when she would beat me. Actually on Dance with the Stars, she beat me a couple times, you know, she won, and man, I heard about it. She's like, I beat you, Roller Bro, yeah, eat it. So, but no, we're very supportive of each other. It's all good. Yeah, go ahead. Dude, like how I was, go ahead. To the point.
That's good.
Go ahead.
Hi Derek, Ellie from Celeb Mixed here, and I just wanted to know if in school were you ever bullied for being a male dancer, and do you have any advice for male dancers who are being bullied right now?
To answer that question, 100%. I was bullied pretty badly actually as a kid. I went to like 6 different schools within like 2 months, constantly being beaten up. But actually, a lot of the times it was my neighbors. You know, they tie me up on my ankles and hang me in a tree for a couple of hours, and you know, some crazy stuff happened. But we won't go into that. It's a nice, happy night, right? But my advice, actually, the good thing is, quite honestly, is that I feel like the culture has changed. The perception of dance has changed a lot since I was a kid, at least in this past decade, this past 10 years. Dancing, especially for guys, is cool. You know what I mean? It's celebrated. It's like, yo, he's a dancer, not like, oh, he's a dancer.
Yeah.
You know, so luckily I feel like it's more appreciated, it's more celebrated, it's more at the forefront, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to have been a part of that in some way throughout this decade. So, yeah, my boys out there, my brothers, keep dancing, man, keep dancing.
Well said. We'll go to the back.